Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Podcast with Neeraj, where real people share life-changing stories that remind us how one moment can completely rewrite our future. I'm your host, Neeraj, and today's episode begins with something incredibly ordinary: a single cup of coffee. Most of us buy coffee without giving it a second thought, but for today's guest, that simple purchase became the beginning of a journey she never expected. She's joining us from the United States, and her story proves that kindness has a ripple effect far greater than we can imagine. Please welcome Emma Brooks. Emma, it's a pleasure to have you here. When I first heard your story, I honestly couldn't believe how one stranger's small act of generosity transformed your entire life. Let's go back to that morning. What was happening in your life, and why did that cup of coffee become such an unforgettable moment?
Thank you, Neeraj. I'm truly grateful to be here, because this story changed not only my future, but also the way I see people. 5 years ago, I was 23, recently unemployed, and completely overwhelmed. I had just enough money left to buy one small coffee before heading to another job interview. Standing in line, I checked my bank balance and realized I was a few dollars short. I quietly stepped aside, embarrassed and ready to leave. Before I could walk away, an elderly gentleman behind me smiled and said, "Don't worry, I've got this." He paid for my coffee without asking for anything in return. As he handed it to me, he said something I'll never forget. "One day, when life gives you the chance, do the same for someone else." At that moment, I had no idea those simple words would completely change my future.
Emma, that's such a powerful moment. Most people would probably remember the free coffee, but you remembered the sentence that came with it. Sometimes a few genuine words stay with us longer than expensive gifts. I'm wondering what happened after that. You were on your way to a job interview, carrying not only a coffee but also a little more hope than before. Did that interview change your life? Or was the real transformation something much deeper? Also, have you ever tried to find that gentleman again? I imagine someone listening today is going through a difficult time, feeling invisible or forgotten. Your story already shows that even a stranger can make someone feel seen. So tell us, what happened after you walked out of that coffee shop? And how did that small act of kindness begin changing your future?
I walked into the interview feeling surprisingly calm. For the first time in weeks, I believed that maybe life wasn't completely against me. The interview went well, but I didn't get the job. A few years earlier, that rejection would have crushed me. Instead, I remembered the stranger's words and decided not to give up. Over the next few weeks, I volunteered at a local community center while continuing my job search. There, I met a woman who owned a small marketing agency. She noticed how dedicated I was and offered me an internship. That opportunity became the beginning of my career. Within 3 years, I was leading major projects and mentoring new employees. Looking back, I realized the coffee itself didn't change my future. It changed my mindset. Once I believed someone saw value in me, I finally started believing it too.
Emma, I think that's the most important lesson so far. The stranger didn't hand you success. He gave you hope. And hope changed the way you approached every opportunity afterward. Many people believe success comes from one lucky break. But your journey shows that mindset often opens doors before talent does. I'm curious about something else. As your career grew and your confidence returned, did you ever think about the promise you silently made that day? The gentleman asked you to help someone else when life gave you the chance. Did you ever get the opportunity to pass that kindness forward? And if you did, what happened? I'd love for our listeners to hear whether one simple act of generosity really can create a chain reaction that reaches people we've never even met.
I did, Neeraj. And it happened when I least expected it. About 2 years after joining the marketing agency, I noticed a young college student sitting alone in a cafe. She looked anxious and kept checking her wallet before quietly putting her drink back on the counter. Instantly, I remembered my own experience. Without thinking twice, I walked over, paid for her coffee, and wrote the same message on a small napkin. One day, when life gives you the chance, do the same for someone else. She smiled with tears in her eyes and thanked me repeatedly. Months later, she contacted me on LinkedIn. She had completed her studies, found a great job, and told me that one small act of kindness gave her the confidence to keep moving forward. In that moment, I realized kindness never truly ends. it simply finds a new person to carry it onward.